Hello, I am Katie Schamberger. Welcome to week 3 of the Downtown Dish. As always, we have got a packed episode telling you all about food, drink, retail, and so much more throughout downtown Kansas City. I am your host, Katie Schamberger, a professional writer and a former downtown resident for over 9 years. So excited to be here to spread the word about what's going on. And we have a wonderful lineup of guests for you today. We are going to be hearing from Rachel Waller at the Kansas City Power and Light District. Kyle Gardner is going to check in from the Riegers Crossroads Community Kitchen. And I don't know if you've seen these guys on Instagram, but they're my new favorite. You will meet Chandler and Craig, creators of the Tiny Table Carryout Club. I think they've got the best dining seats in Kansas City right now. So stay tuned for all of that and more. Big thanks to our sponsors for making this possible every week. Downtown Council, KC Streetcar, Kansas City Downtown Neighborhood Association, and Lynchpin Ideas. Without further ado, let's dive in. And as you watch, if you have questions, comments, things to share, be sure to use our hashtag DowntownDishKC. Let's go. All right, let's check in with a quick announcement first. We've been talking about booze the last couple weeks, and we're going to keep that going. But holy cow, is there not also an incredible coffee scene throughout downtown Kansas City? So let's start sharing some good coffee news. And at the top of the list, Thou Mayest. Both locations in the River Market and in the Crossroads are open. You can place an order online and go pick it up, or you can walk in and get your order to go. They have adjusted their hours just a little bit. So Monday through Saturday, open now 8 to 5, open 9 to 5 on Sundays. Again, that's both locations. So wherever you are, be sure to grab delicious hot coffee. They've got some fantastic pastries as well from Heirloom. So enjoy. I am so excited to kick off this week's interviews with Rachel Waller with the Kansas City Power and Light District. Rachel, welcome to the Downtown Dish.
Thank you for having me today, Katie. I'm excited to be on.
Okay, now before we get too into the important news that you need to share, we need to have a little story time for everybody, because you and I go way, way back.
Way back.
And we met freshman year at Mizzou.
Freshman year, Jones Hall.
Jones Hall. We lived up, well, we weren't technically on the same floor, right? I was on 7 and you were on 6?
I was on 7. I think we were on the same floor.
Okay. I know it had the cool little split level.
Yeah, we shared 2 levels. Yeah, but no. Yeah, we were next door neighbors.
And here we are. Just
who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I love it so much. And I'm so excited because I know there's lots going on at Power and Light. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about, Rachel, the food side first. What's going on with some of the restaurants? How are they approaching the reopening process? And what do people need to know?
Yeah, we in the Power and Light District, we have over 50 tenants, and a large majority of those are restaurants. We have little cafes, little eateries. We also have, restaurants that are more bar, tavern-like. But each and every one of them has kind of been strategically, trying to get through this and stay alive. We had 10 tenants who stayed open and have stayed open the whole time. And they've been doing, curbside and delivery and carry out. A lot of them testing out DoorDash and Grubhub for the first time, and some of those delivery services. Mm-hmm. And now what's been cool is they have started to bring people back inside of their venues and do in-venue dining, a lot of patio dining. Starting to really see people come out. And then at the same time, we've had some venues that haven't been open. That closed their doors for a couple months, and they're starting to come back and starting to reopen and kind of test the waters with what they're doing. And I think all of them are kind of, taking it slow and adjusting as the customers feel comfortable and as they're able to bring more and more staff back. And they're testing out smaller menus. They're doing some fun to-go cocktails and to-go drinks, beverages, which and it's been a challenging but a very interesting time. So as a neighborhood, we've really been trying to be supportive of what everyone's doing and help get the word out as much as possible so people can come visit these merchants and these restaurants and help support local businesses.
Awesome. And I know you've got a couple newer restaurant tenants there, and from one, I think you might have a little snack right now. But any businesses to call out in particular?
Yeah, I mean, strategically, our offices are right next door to Meshuggah Bagel.
Yum.
One of my faves.
Me
and
too.
I think someone on our marketing team is eating a bagel every day. We love them, and as soon as someone walks in with them, we're like, okay, why didn't you ask us if we?
Right.
It's a great local eatery. I think many people probably know Pete and Jana, and they've got a couple locations across the city, and they're really an awesome couple and a great family, and we love having them in the Power and Light District. They're at the base of One Light, so they're at the ground level in One Light Luxury Apartments right on 13th Street. And they've stayed open the whole time, and they're still plugging along, and they're not really having people eat inside.
Sure.
The guidelines, the place is, kind of intimate and small, so they're going to wait a little bit on that, but they're still doing carry out. You can get everything to go. You can pre-order. You can actually drive right up on 13th, put your flashers on, and run in there and pick up what you have to order. So that's been really nice. And then Blade and Timber, I'm excited. They actually just reopened last week, and I don't know if you've been to the one in Power and Light yet. Have you been, Katie?
I haven't. I walked by the other day and it looked awesome, so it's on my list.
Yes, you have to go, and they are doing axe throwing, and they have a full menu, which they actually opened with. When they opened a few months ago, they actually have a full menu, and the food is delicious. It's just a really fun kind of all you can do for a night out. Have some drinks at the bar. They have a full bar there. And they also have, they have chicken and waffles on their menu. They've got a lot of other things. I know, right? So, if you feel like mixing it up and you feel comfortable going inside places, that's a great one to check out. They're open now. They've also been working with Rieger and selling some of their hand sanitizer. And so they've got that for sale at their location. And they've been doing food and stuff to go and drinks to go and stuff as well. So, and they're right at the corner of 13th and Baltimore. So just kind of right across from the Midland, up from Yard House. But it's a really great local business and story. And we're excited to have them back. And County Road Ice House, Johnny's Tavern, Bristol, so many great places to really come down and check out and enjoy the patio seating that they have. And it's just really great. Whether you want to eat indoors or outdoors, this is the place to be.
Now, I want to talk about outdoors because this comes on the heels of some wonderful news that we shared during last week's episode, that the city council put through an ordinance that makes it even easier for restaurants and retailers to kind of expand maybe into some street parking or adjacent parking or even just out on the sidewalk. And I love how Power and Light is leading the way, and you guys took it to a new level and blocked off a whole street, if I'm remembering correctly. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in the outdoor scene.
Yeah, the way that the Power and Light District is positioned and built, it is really a great area for outdoor dining. And we actually, a couple years ago, started an event called Urbana, where we would block off 14th Street. And so we've kind of taken that same concept, if you will, and we've shut down 14th Street to vehicles. And so now it's pedestrian only. People can walk along it. And then the venues along there can set up their tables outside for lunch, dinner, happy hour. And it's just a really great, beautiful block in the Power and Light District. We've got, the shade of the trees. You've got the beautiful sparkling lights that extend with the lanterns over 14th Street. So at night it's gorgeous. And it really is, you're dining under the lights, you're dining under the stars. And we started that last weekend. We'll be continuing that every week and every day, really. The street will be closed for the next month. And so we've kind of left it up to the restaurants as well. Like if you want to set up for lunch or you want to set up for happy hour or pretty much any day it's sunny, they're setting up.
Okay.
And that's a really fun, lively neighborhood feel, which the Power and Light District, is truly, it's a great neighborhood, a great destination for just doing something a little different. So as people feel ready to come out, like this is a great spot to kind of test out first, test the waters, get out, stroll around, grab a table. Bristol's actually doing their happy hour out on the street as well, which if you know Bristol's happy hour, that's a really,
yes, I do.
I know, right? So I was already there last Friday. So, but sun is shining, or as long as it's not raining, I think everybody will be out there. County Road Ice House and Dubliner also are setting up on their side of 14th Street. And we've got live music there on Friday and Saturdays and Sunday evenings. So it's just a really great thing to do for the summer and have people come out. And I think as time goes on and the weeks go by, we add additional elements or additional layers to that as more and more people come out, setting out some lawn games and maybe having some additional entertainment or artists or something, just as people are getting out more and feeling more comfortable, I think we're excited to kind of do more and be that place where people come and they want to socialize. They want to see people. They want to people watch. I think that's a big part of it too. It feels so good just to go outside and people watch, have a glass of wine and just watch everyone walk around and watch the streetcar go by. And that's a great place to do it.
Absolutely.
And then of course, KC Live, we're getting ready to open KC Live next week on Wednesday, June 3rd. And we'll be opening that with a lot of picnic style seating as well.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be really fun for people because it's going to be a way that, when the live block was built and designed, it's that open air courtyard. It's covered with a canopy, but it's open air.
Yep.
So it has that outdoor essence to it. And people will get to be outside, but be able to be around the lights and the energy and the LED screen that we have up. And if sports ever come back on, which I think they will, people can come in and grab a table and order from Guys Dive or McFadden's or Leinenkugel's. There's a lot of different restaurants in there as well. And Guys Dive and McFadden's are going to be doing contactless ordering, where you'll be able just to scan a QR code with your phone and order, and someone will bring the food out to you inside the live block. And it's just going to be a really good way for people not to worry about having to touch a lot of things to get their food or get their drinks. We'll have touchless pay everywhere at all the bars. And it's going to be really exciting. I think there's a really great plan in place, and I think people are going to feel comfortable coming down. We have everything spaced out according to regulations. We've really been working with the city on what our plans are and making sure that we're in line with everything and keeping our guests and customers safe. And all of our businesses have been doing that. It's been a lot of work and stuff, but I think, the guests are going to feel that, and the guests are going to start coming back, and we're already starting to see that. People miss it. They miss being out, and they can't wait to get back and see their old favorite places and people watch.
I love it. Well, and Rachel, I want to go back to something you said, because I have felt this living in the River Market for so many years, working downtown, and now still going downtown so often, but seeing that growth of Power and Light. And what I love, and you touched on earlier, is yes, it's a dining destination, it's an entertainment destination, but it is a neighborhood. And so I wondered if you could speak briefly to kind of that lifestyle amenities, and because I know there are some services and some other places that people go and that also make it such an attractive, really full service neighborhood for people who live there and live around there. What's going on that end?
Yeah, I think as a fellow former River Market resident
Yes.
and having been here with the Power and Light District and Cordish companies for more than 13 years and really seeing the district develop and us start to bring in a lot of those lifestyle amenities, including Cosentino's and Polished Nail Salon, Posh Casey. Um, it was weird when everyone started having to close down because suddenly, it's like, we can't go get our nails done. We can't go do this. And really no one was getting out and doing that stuff anyway. But, those are all local businesses. They're all fantastic operators and they are thrilled to be back. And they've been working really, really hard at having good operational plans. I know I was one of the first people to go to Polish Nails.
Awesome.
And I had to get that petty. I had to get that summer petty, right? And their process was great. They had you had to make an appointment. You had to sign in. They had you wait outside until your appointment time. So there wasn't a lot of congregating around other people. They took your temperature, took your information. You had to wear a face mask. Everyone was required to wear a face mask. All the people working wore face masks and gloves. And they sat you far apart from everyone. So, with the petty chairs, there were several empty chairs in between me and the other person at the very far end. And then they did the same with the nail bars. So everyone's very cognizant to keeping customers safe and keeping guests safe and ensuring that people feel safe too, that that they feel comfortable coming out and stuff. And they've been having a lot of their customers come back and are so excited to be able to get their nails done and feel really good about coming downtown to Polished and Posh and Bare Med Spa, Polished Edge Fine Jewelry. All of them have been taking guests mostly by appointment, and they've seen a lot of people come back already. People are excited to be able to get some, take care of themselves and get to do some kind of summer refresh right now. And so it's really great to see. You are seeing and feeling more people walking around already than were throughout the Power and Light District. The 9 city blocks that we occupy downtown, they were pretty empty for a while. There weren't really, with not a lot of people working down here, and you'd see some residents and stuff walking around, but you're starting to see more and more come back. And I think as more businesses come back, more office workers come back, and more people feel comfortable with getting out, I think you're gonna feel that real neighborhood feel again. We also have Power Life Yoga and One Life Fitness, which have reopened. And Power Life Yoga has been doing yoga sessions and boot camps out in the PNC Plaza,
Awesome.
which is the center in the heart of the district. And that's been really cool to see some of our businesses utilize our outdoor spaces in ways that maybe we haven't done in a while or ever. And so kind of getting creative and really thinking about how they can get people outside and get people back to their business. It's also been fun to be a part of that. It's fun to be able to think outside the box and see how we can help them.
And that's what I love about, I'm so glad that this show is happening, because that's really what, one of the big things we're showcasing. And to your point, Rachel, it's exactly that. It's getting back out at the level that makes you feel comfortable. Maybe you just want to go on a stroll, a little streetcar ride, stroll around the neighborhood, look at some of the gorgeous street art and public art. Maybe you want to take that next step, have a drink, have a meal, whatever. I love that we've got so many options. And to your point, the creativity is overflowing, and it really is wonderful to see. And I'm glad that, of course, it's happening there in Power and Light and all over downtown.
Me too. And you mentioned public art. It's funny you say that. I've been noticing a lot of people do like mural crawls, like scavenger hunts for murals. And we've got several fantastic murals in the Power and Light District, including a recent ones we did last year with Alexander Austin, which was a Super Bowl Chiefs mural on Grand that we did. And then Syke Styles did one in the PNC Plaza. Which was commissioned by PNC Bank. And so I've seen people out there taking pictures and doing some fun mural things. Fun to be a part as well, getting to see people discover those art elements within the Power and Light District. And again, they're outdoor, they're fun. It's just something cool to go do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're getting into Art in the Loop. Next week, we're going to take a closer look at First Friday, how that's evolving, what's happening. So definitely art is at the forefront. But Rachel, before you go, I want to just have you reiterate for everybody, because I know you said, businesses continue to open. You said adding some events, some live music slowly but surely. Where can people just stay up to date with what's happening throughout Power and Light?
I think the best way is on our social channels. We do a lot of social media, not only for the entire Power and Light District, but our individual businesses as well. And we love to showcase them, whether it be on Instagram and stories, and just kind of show live time too what's happening. So I think it's just a really good way to get a lot of balanced information, kind of see what's going on. And it's a quick way for us to update guests as well. We'll also have a landing page on powerandlightdistrict.com that will have a lot of information on it, and we'll be updating that as we get information from tenants and businesses about their openings and changes that they're having. But I do encourage, if someone's interested in an individual business, to contact them directly, because sometimes they're changing things on the fly too as everything develops. So but if you're going to check anything, follow us on social media. We have a couple Power and Light District platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then we also have KC Live Block, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So follow those, check those out, and you'll know everything that's going on down in the Power and Light District.
Awesome. Well, Rachel, thank you. Just love, again, how far back we go, and here we are. And I can't wait to hopefully watch some Mizzou football with you later this year. Fingers crossed. Now, if you watched last week's episode of the Downtown Dish, we shared some exciting news that the City Council made it easier for restaurants and retailers to expand outdoors. That might be in street parking, it might be in an adjacent parking lot, might be the sidewalk. And we're starting to see that happen throughout downtown, and it's so cool. So want to draw your attention to Novel Restaurant. They're right near 19th and McGee in the Crossroads. They have debuted a little outdoor seating area that's fantastic, right there close to Grand Boulevard. So great hustle and bustle and people watching. And what you'll also notice there is some incredible new art created by Peregrine Honig and executed by Scribe, two names that we're all familiar with as part of the vibrant Kansas City arts community. So it's really cool. It's almost what I would call a mixed media mural, where it's expanding on the wall, but then there's an actual swing that's hanging down from the painted tree branch. So just gorgeous. Obviously, photo opportunities for days, all the selfies. And if you do go there to eat or simply to enjoy the art, be sure to use the hashtag #ThatIsNovel. Well, let's keep it going with the interviews. I am so excited to have Kyle Gardner here with us. He wears a lot of different hats at the Rieger and Manifesto, but most recently has become the co-founder of the Crossroads Community Kitchen. Kyle, welcome to the Downtown Dish.
Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So tell us, Kyle, big, important community things have been happening at the Rieger since mid-March. Is that right? Tell us what's been going on.
Yeah, we kind of had the decision on if, how safe it was to stay open. And March 16th, we decided to close the doors and kind of shelter in place. But that same day, about 2 hours after we sent out an all staff message that we were closing, we opened back up as the Crossroads Community Kitchen and started serving meals out the front door. The idea was to feed those in need, feed our industry friends, and try not to waste all of the food that we had on hand. And it's kind of grown since then.
And that you told me some incredible stories that I honestly didn't think of right away. And that's that when the stay-at-home orders went in place, so many restaurants and hotels have all this food. What are they going to do with it? And you said that you just got some incredible donations. Is that right?
It was amazing, and how quickly it happened was really beautiful. We we thought that maybe some of our local restaurant friends would show up, but people that we had never had any communications with from really quite far away showed up with amazing amounts of food. All the culinary schools and colleges, all the schools had all this food, and they were just showing up and with an amazing outpour of donations. It was beautiful.
That's so cool. And I know that you said there was a really incredible spike between that first week that you were open in mid-March and then that second week in terms of meals sold or meals given away, excuse me. What kind of numbers did you see or what kind of increase did you see?
Well, really, we were flying by the seat of our pants those first few weeks. We had almost no time to mobilize that first day, and we served 21 meals. And a week later, we sold, gave away 500 meals. So it really took legs of its own pretty quickly.
That's amazing. And since then, you're serving 7 days a week. You said you haven't missed a day since March 16th.
Yeah.
And I believe that we're gonna break a little news here on the Downtown Dish, which I'm so pumped about. But you hit a truly significant milestone earlier this week. How many meals are you up to now?
Last night, we just crossed the barrier of 50,000 meals served in about 100 days. Yeah.
That
So
is so awesome. And I'm curious too, Kyle. You said when you started out that it was for people in need, definitely looking out for your service industry colleagues since they were hit so hard. But I love what I've heard from you about how that population has grown. You mentioned schools and daycares, people just in need throughout the downtown area. So tell us a little more. It just seems like this has become a community wide effort that's not necessarily focused on any one industry or group, but really just people who need meals.
yeah, that's true. We start our deliveries each day at 10:30 in the morning, and we deliver until about 5 every single day. And that goes to hospitals. It goes to some churches and families in need. It goes to day shelters and daycares, and then it goes to people that are still working and still need food. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, we'll deliver to factories and maintenance workers that maybe don't have they never had a kitchen at their spot in general, and it makes it a little bit easier on them if we could bring them some food.
Absolutely. Take us behind the scenes because I've seen some wonderful pictures that we've got up here during our chat. But for what I envision, is it sort of similar to kind of an assembly line setup? And I feel like the open kitchen of the Rieger like is fairly conducive to what you guys are doing. So what's it like kind of on the inside since you are dealing with a high volume of both ingredients and then cooking and then the meals themselves?
Yeah, we it took us a while to get this process going. We made every mistake we could, but yeah, we have a pretty solid assembly line now where we could lay out about 300 meals at a time and box those up. And we have a refrigerated trailer that we could store a lot of ingredients in now. We could put the boxes in there if they're going to be cold food. And then we have tons of hot boxes for the hot stuff. But I would say it's more efficient now, but we're changing things every day still.
And I know you're reaching, if you will forgive the pun, a crossroads, um, because reopening is starting slowly but surely, definitely a longer term process. But the good news that you shared with me is this is really just the beginning for Crossroads Community Kitchen. Can you tell us a little bit about what's next for that initiative?
So through what's been called the Chefs Collective, we've secured funding, and the theory is that this will grow and become a more wide-reaching program, and we would like to continue this at a different location indefinitely. And that would look something like we work with local farmers that deliver their produce to a place where we could break down that produce and then turn it into meals and then distribute it to the community. We're not quite there yet, but that's what we're working towards, and it looks like a real possibility, and it'll also allow us to transition into reopening the Rieger.
And I love that because I think it's especially applicable in Kansas City, given that we are virtually surrounded by so many wonderful local farmers that I'm sure you've worked with for a long time, at the Rieger. But I think that's another kind of piece of the puzzle that I wasn't even thinking of until you really opened my eyes, Kyle, to that almost like the supply chain, if you will, where you've got, you were working to, productively use food that might otherwise go to waste. But now, farmers are concerned because maybe some of their clients and the people that they supply aren't necessarily running at that same level. So I love how this is truly, to me, a community, a cooperative effort to address lots of people and groups in need at one time.
I think that's the idea, and co-op, good word for it, because that's probably the way we get out of the situation best is by working together. And taking care of our neighborhood is the first, and right now the only thing we could do, really.
Right.
And so if we could start small and then grow it, I think that's a good building block. Yeah.
And so that you bring up a good point too, Kyle. So people who might be curious, reopening, and what that might look like is on the radar at the Rieger. But I think to your point, maybe really solidifying this next phase for the Crossroads Community Kitchen and the Chefs Collective, that seems like the number one priority right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's probably correct. I mean, it definitely feels that way to us.
Sure.
We would love to get back to hosting people again, and
right.
But that feels secondary to what we're doing right now a little bit. So we're probably realistically, 6 weeks out from being anything considered what the Rieger used to be.
Sure.
We want to take our time and do it right with both streams that we have going right now.
Wonderful. And Kyle, I know we've got people watching, downtown residents, visitors, employees, people near and far. Is there anything that kind of the average person, me or someone else, can do to help you guys at the community kitchen?
I mean, really, the best thing that I found during this time is just trying to spread positivity, and just being trying to find a way to be nice to people. That's been a really cool thing where I've been connected with people I've never met before from this, and just kind of growing that community is really the most productive thing for us. Just support and good vibes goes a long ways.
I love it. And that's what I love about downtown, just as a community, as a neighborhood. You've got your smaller neighborhoods in the downtown, but then all together, as a community, I know everybody's excited about what's coming up next and how can they pitch in, and just kind of getting back on our feet in whatever way that looks like. And so that's cool. And you guys are definitely helping to carry that momentum. And I know we all appreciate so much what you're doing there.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Kyle. It was great to have you on the show, and best of luck, and keep us posted on what's coming up in the next few weeks. And again, if there's anything we can do to help, we're here.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
It might not be quite time to get out to a live performance just yet, but of course, Kansas City musicians are bringing us right to the stage with them, and this is such a cool new series. Debuted recently, right from the heart of 18th and Vine, our beloved Jazz District. Every night, Sunday through Friday, from 5 to 6, they are going to stream live jazz right on Facebook from the Gem Theater, featuring all sorts of Kansas City artists. So you know what I'm thinking. 5 to 6, that's happy hour time. So maybe go get your favorite cocktail to go, or some beer or some wine or whatever you like to drink. Pull up your comfiest chair, kick back, and let that amazing live jazz just wash over you. That series is actually going to continue through early July. So plenty of opportunities to see what so many Kansas City musicians are up to right now, and to support them, and as well as one of our landmark communities in downtown Kansas City. All right, and for our final segment today, I am so excited to introduce you to these guys. Shout out to one of my dearest friends, Jamie, for pointing me in the direction of the Tiny Table Carryout Club, the founders of which are here with us, Chandler McCune and Craig Nagel. How are you?
We are doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing great.
Doing good. Welcome to the Downtown Dish.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, so I got to start because you guys have known each other for a while. Is that right?
Yes, known each other since middle school, actually. So.
Awesome. Excellent. Now, take us back. How did Tiny Table Carryout Club get started?
Well, basically, we were kind of just sitting at Craig's house, having a couple beers, kind of like seeing how this is all unfolding, and we just started talking about all the restaurants that we'd want to visit and try to support, and then we basically started making a list, and it kept getting longer and longer. Then as we kept talking about it, we just kind of stumbled upon the idea that it'd be pretty funny if we just started setting up a table outside of these restaurants and could like photograph it, mainly for our friends, but then we were like, oh, maybe it could inspire some people we don't know to get out and kind of do the same thing, show them that it's not a bad idea to eat at restaurants, and try to keep them afloat because we know it's super hard for them right now. Mm-hmm. Then next thing you know, we have an Instagram handle, a tiny table that was supposed to go to my niece that's been in the family for like 60 years now.
Okay.
But he hijacked it, and ever since we've been kind of just banking on friends to pass on the message, and slowly gotten a little bit of a following, and it's just been funnier and funnier to us as it goes.
Yeah, I just showed up one day at the first restaurant we were going to eat at and eat in the parking lot and get it to go. And then I met Chandler there, and he popped open his trunk, and he's got this table and these tiny chairs. And
yes.
And I'm like, oh, okay, we're the real deal now.
Yeah, from there on, it's been, the table's literally been in my car pretty much for like 9 weeks now, give or take, so just in case we ever have a pop-up restaurant.
That is so cool. And I was going to ask you guys, if you remember, where was the first place that you ate?
Cafe V, out south off of like 103rd-ish and kind of near Metcalf. It's tucked back there a little bit. It's next to an Asian market. I think it's actually the same business, but they do some Vietnamese food, Japanese dishes, Korean dishes, but everything's pretty solid there. So it's one of my go-to spots.
Awesome. And I feel like I've been creeping on the Instagram for a while, but I feel like you guys are doing a really fantastic job of you're out and about like throughout the Kansas City area. It seems like not necessarily sticking in one neighborhood. Is that kind of your goal, to spread out a little bit?
I mean, yeah, I think we're trying to support the restaurants that we know or have heard of. I think there's, if you go up north towards Gladstone. There's some spots that we like up there that we haven't had a chance to get up, or like, I'm sure there's some spots over in Liberty or out east or maybe out west that we don't know about.
Yeah, and so we kind of grew up out south, so and then I know a bunch of people in the restaurant industry, and then just from there, it's just we've found all these places we just have loved and just kind of want to keep going to, and it just happens to be all across the city. Like we don't discriminate. Like we love our tacos in KCK, we love our barbecue everywhere else. Like everywhere just has some good restaurants here and there, just little pockets of goodness.
So we're always looking for more recommendations of places we haven't been to or don't know about.
For sure.
I know it's like, and I try to hit places because I write about Kansas City, but I mean, and it's been a great problem to have. I mean, it's really almost impossible to keep up, both with brand new places and then, to your point, maybe some of those smaller neighborhood joints that are a little more off the beaten path kind of thing. I saw you guys had recently gone to Kitty's Cafe there in the Midtown area, and I'm desperately wanting to try their pork tenderloin.
Yeah, that's been like my favorite spot forever, and it's been around. I think I'm probably gonna misquote this. I think like the 30s almost. So it's like a small staple in Kansas City, but a lot of people don't know about it. Ever since I've been turned on to it, I've never found a tenderloin that I don't. I have to compare it to Kitty's, and Kitty's always wins in my mind. But that's just something particular to me.
Sure.
There's a lot of tenderloin fans out there who would disagree with me, but whatever.
Whatever. Now, I want to ask you too, because I know that, excuse me, as this project has grown, you have started to incorporate some charitable components, and you mentioned already just doing what you can to be eating from local restaurants and keeping them going. But talk to me a little bit about what you've done on that charitable side, and if there's a way that we all can help in the future.
Yeah, Craig.
We started the Instagram account and we started getting a few followers and just talking with our friends and family, and they were all loving what we were doing, and we just kind of came up with the idea to see if we can't. We're kind of sitting here on a Friday night and having a drink with our friends outside, social distance drinking on Friday.
Right.
Came up with an idea. Hey, what can we do to kind of give back now that we have been doing this for, a couple weeks, and decided that, there's some charities out there that we'd like to support. So to kind of start small, we kind of looked at different clinics around the Kansas City area and came up with the idea to team up with, local restaurant and provide a sponsored or lunch. And we started a GoFundMe page to do that.
Awesome.
And it actually exceeded our expectations. We set the goal for like $500 or something small.
So I just called up and asked, how many workers do you have at your clinic? And the first one we did had about 40. And from there, it's like, okay, well, what kind of lunch can we provide that still kind of practices the social distancing rules for providing lunches to charities or businesses with frontline workers. And so the Bronx does a nice boxed lunch with sandwiches, and so contacted them, and that was about $300, $400 for about 40 boxed lunches, and we started the GoFundMe, and within a few days had almost up to $800, so basically doubled it, which gave us the opportunity to find another clinic. So first one was the Sharon Lee Family Health Clinic, and the second one was the KC Care Clinic, or KC Care Center.
Yep.
And so I've gone through all the funds that we raised through that GoFundMe.
Yeah, so we've been talking about maybe doing another one a little bit down the road. Our buddy kind of said people necessarily don't like to donate to the same people like relatively quickly, so we might just wait a little bit and try to do it again, see if we can do something bigger. But it was a nice first trial run, so made us feel good that we could give money to a business and also provide lunches to frontline workers, and they're really in this. So
I guess that was the mission, is to be able to contribute to the restaurants, to their to the local restaurants here in town, as well as provide lunches to frontline workers or volunteers. So
Well, and that's so perfect because I know we didn't necessarily plan it this way, but earlier in this show, we heard from Kyle with the Crossroads Community Kitchen that's operating out of the Rieger. And, that's that same mindset is just getting meals to people who need them. And also, kind of approaching it from the other perspective, especially in the early days of the stay at home where, restaurants and hotels were in such a precarious position of wasting a lot of food because they were, shut down. And so them being able to work together, I mean, you guys just, doing this thing that's fun, but it's also got, this great message and this great core. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I love to see and that I know, makes people smile in a challenging time.
I mean, that's what all started out, is trying to make some people smile during this because we knew it was going to be tough for a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. So,
yep,
a little joy when you can.
Exactly. Well, let's bring it downtown because I know you guys have hit some downtown spots. So tell me a couple of your favorites carryout meals that you've had, and also, is there a place or 2 or 3 downtown that you haven't been that's on the radar?
So some of our go-tos, obviously, is Katie's Cafe for me. That was a hard one for me when they were shut down for so long. Soiree was one of the new places we tried. It's kind of like Cajun place down there, 18th and Vine. Excellent Cajun food. They don't have their full menu right now, but we're pretty excited to go back, try it again. The staff all came out and chatted with us, had a great time with them. Antler Room sandwiches have been killing it for us, but they've been teaming up with Heart Barbecue, which is also an up-and-comer.
Been really wanting to try the Antler Room when they are, fully open and
for sure.
We can go eat.
And that's what a lot of these things are. It's like little sample things, and now it's just I can't wait to get in their restaurants. Fox and Pearl, someplace I'd been a few times that Craig hadn't. He's hooked on it immediately. Yeah. They just do excellent food. Banksia was a new one to us for breakfast and brunches. It's the Australian bakery. Everything I've had there's been delicious from their bakery side, like macaroons, cakes. Eggs Benny is like one of my big things, and they do it great. Yeah. They do it great. On our list right now, we want to do Farina, but they weren't open, so
I think they're open now.
They're back open. Yep.
Yeah, we're still dicey on how they'll do to go, but
that's the fancy meal of the week.
I love it.
We get our funds right, but
I also want to do Corvino's Supper Club because I've only done the burger there when we were kind of hanging out on a Friday, Saturday night a long time ago. I'd like to do the Rieger, but they've obviously been doing their to-go things for the community. But that's someplace we've been a bunch of times. It's just somewhere I miss and enjoy their food quite often.
Yeah, I think we enjoyed the Russell. That was a great lunch we had.
That was a new one to me too that everyone has been telling me about, but we just had never made it down there.
We said we wanted to eat light, but splitting a salad and a sandwich, I don't know how light it was, but it's still delicious.
Yeah, I mean, there's awesome. So many places in Kansas City. It's just trying to hit them all we can, and we get people asking us if we can go places, and it's like, yeah, we'd love to try to get there, but at some point we need to slow down and be a little bit healthier to ourselves.
I know. I've just been kind of in the free for all zone, so we're helping restaurants though, and I'm
we'll worry about it later.
Single-handedly keeping Tannins wine and to-go cocktails afloat, and then Ripple Recycling is seeing me a whole lot more than they used to.
Just boxes, glass. Yeah, our buddy who works at the Rieger near where Knuckleheads used to be, when this first started happening, was like, hey, we're doing this tiny table, can we come? He's like, yeah, I can make a 750 milliliter old fashioned. I was like, whoa, we don't need to go that hardcore, but I appreciate it. But now they're doing the hand sanitizer thing, also helping out, so it's good to know those guys.
Still like to have that old
fashioned. Oh yeah, still like that old fashioned.
Right.
That's for another time.
Well, this is so cool. Well, we will make sure everybody give Tiny Table Carryout Club a follow on Instagram. Can't wait to see where you guys go next. Keep us updated. Just love what you're doing and appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. Have a great night.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye. Thank you.
There is so much going on downtown right now that we are squeezing in a bonus announcement. Friend of the show, Danielle Lehman, has alerted us that the KC Runs on Hospitality team, which is an initiative that started kind of at the forefront of the stay-at-home closures to help our service industry workers, They had originally debuted a t-shirt, and now just this week have added a tote bag to go along with that. It's some incredible art that you'll see there on the screen, created by Frank Norton. You can go on, order your tote bag and or your t-shirt. Those proceeds go to help local hospitality and service industry workers at a number of restaurants, including a lot of downtown favorites like Corvino, Betty Ray's, Succotash, Howard's Cafe, The Campground, Fox and Pearl, Brewery Imperial, Sura Eats, and so much more. So, I mean, we can never have enough t-shirts or tote bags, and these are for a great cause. So go to the website kcrunsonhospitality.com and pick up your goodies today. All right, that brings us to the close of another great episode of the Downtown Dish. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next Friday at noon right here on YouTube. So make sure to grab your favorite carry-out meal, maybe a beverage, start that weekend a little early. Come join us, hang out, chat, ask questions. And throughout the week, if you have any feedback or you're out and about downtown and you want to share what you're eating or drinking or buying, we want to see it. So please use that hashtag DowntownDishKC. And also please feel free to connect with me, Katie Schamberger. I am at Katie Writes on all major social media platforms. That's KATYWRITES. Thank you again for tuning in. So much cool stuff going on downtown Kansas City, and we will see you next week.